So guys, 14 years since Wembley. Hard to believe, I think, especially for me to be back now in the academy and see kids that weren't even born when we went there and we played there. So it's hard to believe, it's 14 years ago.
14 years.
When it was a 10-year anniversary not too long ago, that I can't believe that was 4 years ago, mate. So last 14 years has absolutely flown by.
What's your key memories of the day? I know you all scored. Talk us through your goals.
Really started, didn't you?
Yeah, so it is. It actually is to this day. Scored a few since then, but that's the best of the best that I scored. I can just remember just a real. We didn't have a lot to think about. I felt like all we had to think about was the game on the day. Although there was a lot of noise, I think that was important. Chris Wilder made sure that was obviously the main objective for us.
I think it settled us down as well massively. Like there was loads going on, but that I think gave us the opportunity to kick on once we got that first goal. It was so early in the game as well. It definitely gave us that impetus, I think, to go on and win the game. I always felt like we'd win the game from the kick-off, but once we scored that early goal, it made such a difference.
Yeah.
In the crowd, everything changed, and I felt like we were massively on top then.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've actually watched that whole game back, and I look at our discipline. I couldn't believe, like, there's teams now I watch and I see our discipline, and to be fair, the first goal came from us being on the front foot, working hard, chasing the seconds, and I practiced with Mel that half volley, not from that far out. I don't think I could do it again, if I tried 10 times now, but I used to practice from a yard away from the goal, and you can remember that. And you used to cane me to be like, oh, here he is. You won't miss from that far away, lad. But it was just pure instinct for me, from my point of view, pure instinct. Just to saw the keeper was off his line and just thought hit the target. And then what about yours?
Yeah, and then obviously you played a big part in that. I think it was a big clearance. You've sort of battled. I flicked it on. You battled with the centre half, got knocked over like you did for a lot of my goals, and just gave me the opportunity to get in there. And I think I just had a bit of a bad touch. The first touch took it onto my left, and
them good bad touches.
At that time, just keep it low, hit it hard and low, and like I say, luckily it was wet that day, so it just slipped off the turf. But I think at that point for me, I felt like that was not the tie done, because we had 70 minutes or whatever.
It was a knockout blow for them.
That was a big goal. That
mid-tip post shortly after.
How did he? That should have been a goal. That
it should have been a penalty. I was pulled back, and then it came to mids, and obviously got a good connection.
You literally put everything on him putting that away as well, don't you? Then Alfie, the glory goal. Talk us through that then.
I've got Clarkie to thank for that. If we don't drop that one and it stays 2-0, if I score to make it 3-0, it probably doesn't give everyone that relief that we all felt when my goal went in. But watching it from the side, I get more nervous watching a game from the bench. When I'm on the pitch, obviously you forget everything that's going on. So I remember watching start the game, feeling the nerves. But the way the boys started, I think just everyone lost all their nerves after that. It was just everyone's out there enjoying themselves until obviously Clarkie
shut one in. Bless him.
I'll never let him forget that.
Nah, we won't. Bless him.
No, and then coming on actually, when I was coming on the pitch, I really felt the nerves. We was a bit under the cosh at times, and then I think I watched it back as well. I think my first few touches were awful. Had to play my way into the game, and then once I'd managed to kind of settle down in the game, I think that was our best chance. And we had a couple of little breakaway moments that slipped you in. But the goal, I don't really remember much of the goal in that moment. It was all instinct. Normally, if you put me 1-on-1, I don't score. And it's just like, it's all just come naturally, and it's just like it was meant to be for me. It was unbelievable.
I said at the time, like looking back now, you look at it, their corner, they played like a deep 18-yard box. I thought they were just going to lefty whip it in on Clarkie after the first half. We were under the cosh, but they sort of chipped it to the 18. I think Reece has won it, and then like obviously you and Sam racing away. I was chasing as quick as I could, because I thought as soon as you got in that position, like once it got rolled back, there was never a doubt. Once you decent first touch. It didn't cross my mind that you weren't going to score.
I think it goes, again, it says, like, for me, they made a few mistakes that game, and again, we were probably the favourites, but like they had the experienced players on the pitch. Remember, they had Brody that scored loads of goals, Rankin. They had all these big players, but they literally played the occasion. We played the game and got underneath their skin, and
I don't think we went into it on good form, did we?
No. We lost. He made some changes, I think, last game of the season.
Yeah.
We were just saying to the guy, like, it was nearly 2 weeks between the second semi-final and then the final. So
it was.
We had like CBBC come in.
Everyone was
we had loads of stuff going on.
Everyone was getting on the booze as well. After the semi, we had
But then it seemed like a long time. It sort of dragged a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Getting that high of getting to Wembley and then actually going down there and.
We was at the Kazam for ages, weren't we? Going
on the pitch
going through all the different things that we needed to do.
At what point did you guys really realise the magnitude of that game and what it meant for the club going forward? I mean, people still talk about it now as like a defining moment in getting the club to where we are now.
Yeah.
For me, I noticed. So obviously, knew it was massive for the club. But when we had that 10-year anniversary, I think Calvin and Chris sat on the stage and spoke about actually where the club were at that time, and if we didn't win, then the club would never be kind of where they are now. So I think that's when it really hit on for me.
I don't think we understood the attitude of what
I think
a
lot gets sort of hidden away from you as a player. You get your responsibilities on the football pitch. So some of the noise that's in the background, we were Oxford United. We were a brilliant club playing at the Kazam Stadium, sponsored by Nike. I think at the time we had like probably the best stadium and manager, and we were just thinking about that really. But no, looking back now, all those years later, gosh, yeah.
We knew it was a big game, like, there's no doubt. But I think even full time, it was a relief to just get over the line. I think that season still felt like 5 seasons in one. Like we were flying, and then we sort of lost our way and then came back. But I think it was more obviously buzzing we'd won, but it was just a massive relief.
It's a better way to do it. I've done it the other way as well. No, we've all done it the other way, but that way it's through the playoffs, the emotions, the roller coaster, the ups, downs, like you say, the build up, the just getting in the playoffs, so the relief of that, the semi, who you're playing against, and then the final just to go and do the business was. Yeah, I can't remember much about the night there.
The atmosphere on the day was incredible. I mean, 36,000, 37,000 Oxford fans there. What was that like in the build-up, knowing that you were going to be backed by that many fans?
It's a bit surreal for me, personally.
It was even just leaving the Kazam, I think on the Thursday, when we left, there was just hundreds, thousands of fans just to see us off, to go to Wembley. So we obviously understood there was going to be big, thousands there, but I don't think we really anticipated the noise, the atmosphere until we walked out into the stadium. And then obviously I think we let them go first, didn't we? Did we let them go out for the warm-up and then so they could hear the noise, and then I think we came out second just to say let them
intimidate, because we had way more many.
It was phenomenal. And then obviously coming out for the kick-off, we obviously lined up, it was chucking it down like that. So
the pitch wasn't great as well. Wembley was pretty new, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a couple of years old.
But the rain just sort of dampened a little bit of the atmosphere, but as soon as like that, obviously the goals went in and like we started sort of getting that sort of comfortable play the way we played, the noise came, and then like say the final whistle was like the noise I've never heard. I don't think anything like it. It was just it was a mad sort of 30 seconds a minute just to let it sink in. We'd done it like after what we'd been through that year, to finally get over the line was a phenomenal feeling.
Especially for you, Alfie, wheeling away after your third goal. The moments before you got swamped by the rest of the lads, looking out and seeing that, what was that like?
Like you said, it was just surreal. I think I remember as the ball kind of set up to strike it, it was just like the whole stadium, it felt like the whole stadium just fell silent. And then as soon as it hit the back of the net, the whole place just erupted. I didn't know what to do, to be honest with you. I can't remember why I ran that way or what. If I watch it back now, I love watching it. Unbelievable.
What will this week feel like for the lads here today? You've seen them out training. The build-up, again, knowing that those fans are going to be there and maybe even more this time. what are those emotions that go through your head?
Of course, there's family tickets to sort out, there's friends, you've got 50 more mates than you had last week. It's absolute carnage, and then on top of it, all those people watching, you've got to put to the back of your mind because the football's out. So there's loads of emotional and mentally it's tough build up, but these lads, throughout the season, have had a brilliant start to the season. New manager, picked back up, showed their resilience and showed good form towards the end of the season and turned up in the big games. So mentally, I'm sure they're in a good place. And as long as they play, the game and not the occasion, and they get their tickets sorted out early doors, and they get those things, I'm sure they'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think that, as like say, being around them day in day out here as I am, I don't see any difference in their sort of mentality. I think they're very sort of grounded. They know what's coming. They know the plan. So I don't think a lot of change. I think for players, it's sometimes can drag a little bit. I'm sure after Peterborough, they wish they had played sort of 2 days later. They would have been on such a high. They would have just been wanting to get the game. But again, there's things that need doing. There's obviously media responsibilities this week, and I think as a player, you'd rather it was that than you'd be on a beach somewhere enjoying your summer, finishing mid-table. There's obviously that to look forward to. They've got the excitement of potentially taking the club into the Championship. So I think it'd be a long week for them, but I think they'd be looking forward to Saturday afternoon, getting there and getting to sort of 4:15 and kicking off. So, but they've been great this season. I'm sure, as the gaffer sort of will say, it's just another game. Don't sort of hype it too big. It's just a game against a very good side. So I don't think it'd be much different this week.
Yeah, you spoke about discipline earlier. How important was that for you guys leading up to that game, and how important will that be for them? Just knowing that if you keep the level head and you play the football that you've been playing and showed in the last 2 months for these lads, they'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, just getting knowing that I'm sure they all do. They're professional footballers, but the what's important out of all the noise that's going on around, what's actually important? What am I? And as long as they get into that siege mentality when they walk out on the pitch, and they'll be just fine, because there will be players on the opposite team that will be playing the occasion. So make sure that your house is in order and you're tuned in.
I think they'll go into the game confident. They've had a real good end to the season. The job they've done against Peterborough, home and away, incredible, real well drilled. And then, like I said, I think they'll go into it confident. I think the same as what we did back then. I don't think there was any doubt in anyone's mind that we was going to win that game. And if you believe it, then you'll achieve it. So I think that'll be absolutely fine.
I think it takes a lot as well, because we were obviously flying at the top of the league for half the season, then sort of lost that, and it sort of mirrors Bolton a little bit, like they were up there fancied as favourites to go up. So I think for us, we did really well to reset and be well, that's gone, we're in the playoffs, focus on that now. But it's a lot. It is draining to once you've been up there all season and all the talk is of you getting promoted. Once you don't do it and you're in the playoffs, the pressure sort of ramps up a little bit for them to obviously they're going to be sort of probably going to the game slight favourites, but like I say, that's a good place for us to be. I think the pressure on them is going to be greater, and say it's going to be a great game, I'm sure.
Finally, just looking back, how important is that team, that moment, that season in your lives and your careers, and how special can that moment be for these lads?
Still living up in there. So.
Yeah, we're still there now. Yeah, coming to this beautiful facility. So. It's huge. Any promotion on the CV's a feather in the cap. So especially in League One for these boys now, they'll be a feather in their cap for the rest of their careers.
I think for me, it's something I look back all the time when it gets to this kind of year, and you have a look on social medias and stuff, and there's always this day, 2010, this, and every time I watch it back, it's just incredible. And obviously keep in touch with the boys, not all the time, but we do still speak. And we live that with each other, and that's just going to last with us forever.
Yeah.
I think, like you say, it's one of those things you just can. Other sports maybe, but I think football, especially like playoffs and those moments, you look back at clubs that have done it throughout their careers, and they always say it's a highlight. If you could pick a way to get promotion, it's through the playoffs. If
Yeah.
you can obviously get that positive result at the end of it. But I think for us, like I say, we would have still been mates if we hadn't got promoted on that day. But I think now that definitely has a sort of tighter bond, that we all sort of went through that together, and like I say, the enjoyment and that week or two after that final will, like I say, live with me forever. And I'm sure the lads will be looking forward to hopefully replicating that and enjoying the same couple of weeks partying before they're back in for pre-season. Looking forward to hopefully playing in the Championship next year.
Yes.
Brilliant to see you guys again. Thanks for coming down. It's been
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.